Well, hey, the time has come. Yep. Start working on my 1974 GMC Suburban again. As you saw from there, it's our ride that we took on 2021 Hot Rod Power Tour. And it was fun. Got a lot of stuff to do to it, but we're going to start today by doing body work on it. Now, we're not going to get all the body work done today, but you got to start somewhere. So, go around it really quick, show you what it needs, what I got, what we're going to start with, and dive into this video. She's seen some better days. You know, she's got a little cancer going on down there, rocker, both sides. We got a little cancer on the roof line here, and you know, up here, these doors, they're toast. They're toast. Bondo down here. It's actually holding up pretty well for what it is, but the rest of the fenders, you know, trash, typical. My battery leaked battery acid all over. Front end, we were in an accident at some point. We got a bump, bam, right there. Filler panel is, you know, cattywampus in. My marker blinker light is sticking out funny. This fender, you can see it's creased in. So it was hit, tweaked in. You can see the bumper's kind of like a little pushed in this way, smashed into that. You know, what do they call those? Whiskey dents, I guess? Or no? I don't know. But the front bumper is screwed up. Looking for one of those. Hood, she's got the cancer forming on it. All the way along there. Driver's side, not any better. Bottom of the fender is rusted out. This door, I think that was some galvanized patch panel that's on there. You can't really, I don't know, rust. This door, rust. This rocker, at least, their quarter panel is not that bad, but you know, it's still terrible. Go up top, roof is still doing roof things, barely. If you remember, we did rocker panels in it, front, back, floor. Did interior this side of a 97 Suburban, center console out of a Suburban, you know, power stuff. Figure we're at 78,366, probably 178. We'll bring her back around. Other than that, inside, we're pretty much dialed in here, you know, minus little stuff here and there that we'll have to address, but that's simple enough. Still no headliner. Never got around to putting that in there. No trim panels, but we'll put those in there. I did do new door seals, but I robbed them, put them in Angus, so these are the ones out of Angus. The back ones are still new, out of LMC, all the way around. So that's good. And some more little stuff. I don't like the way that these seats are in here, so we'll probably refigure out something from there. I did rip the mirrors off because it makes it easier getting in and out of the garage. You may notice we have a towing thing, so I don't know why that just made some noise. Anyways, we got the tow package. Those came off a 2010 GMC Sierra 2500 8 lug. Caps came off a van. I bought those off eBay. No barn doors here. We got the flip down tailgate, so we're good there. Heather is eating her yogurt. How is it?
It's lovely.
Good. So you can see we got a lot of work cut out in front of us on that. Luckily for me, I've been collecting and buying recently, and for a while now, actually the last couple of years, new body panels. You probably saw on the back of the videos, but here they are. I got new fenders, got new doors. Doors are freaking amazing. I just got those here not too long ago. And somewhere else, I got patch panels. I wonder what I did with them. I got the patch panels for the quarters. So we're going to patch those up. New doors, new fenders. Oh, and most recently, a new hood. Look at that. No rust. No rust at all. Got some little dents in there. We'll have to address those. But at least we won't have to deal with rust. Dents are a lot easier to mess with than rust. So with the rust, with that, we're going to get into today's video. So let me get set up and we'll get into it. Bet you guys thought I was going to pull Burt in and work on it in here. No. Anyways, we're going to do a little bit of body work. We're going to go over these fenders here really quick, see what they need, what they don't. Obviously, they both are going to need a little bit of different stuff, some of the similar stuff. And driver's side one is in a little bit worse shape than the passenger side one, but better than what we had. So first things first, your proper tools. If you don't have any of those little things set up on, go get some. They're pretty relatively inexpensive, like 20 bucks at Harbor Freight. They're really simple. You can actually build some from conduit, get a pipe bender, and just whoop, and some chain and link, and you're good to go. Of course, some foam pool noodles too. Keep it from getting dented when you're flipped over, but very handy. Second thing we're going to work with today is a set of body hammers. And for the life of me, I've never had a decent set of hammer dolly, automotive bodywork tools, but set was at Harbor Freight. 50 bucks. You get 7 pieces, some nice hammers, some dollies in there, and you can, we'll get into it and see. And it comes in a nice case you can hold it in. Also, I bought a blunt hammer. So I got 100 bucks into some tools here for today to do some simple body work. Some cool different, patterns. This one was a copper. It looked like it was originally brown by the original paint there. This one is a orange and white two-tone. Kind of like that too. But I don't know. Get some different options with the two-tonage, and they all seem to look good. Anyways, so we're going to start on this one because it's the easier one and it's the one I feel like working on. Then we'll move on to that one. First, we're going to move all this trim off. Now, when you remove trim pieces, make sure you just take out every single screw. Don't rip it off forcefully. Have a box ready to put all your stuff in and label it. Pretty simple. You'll thank yourself in the future. And you never know. You might end up using some stuff. You might use what's on the thing to begin with. I don't know. I don't even know how this trim stuff comes off. I think it's just a couple screws and whatever, but let's pull it off. So I am going to be working today with just hand tools, just to go to show how easy these things are to put together. Everyone's got flathead screwdrivers. Everyone's got Phillips. You got the screwdrivers. So you can do this stuff at home. So looks like we got a couple of the Phillips. I do know that on Burt, when I was asphyxiating one of these into a door, I think it was, I put a self-tapper in it. We might have to find some nice self-tappers when we get to that point, but we got a lot of work to do to get to that point. All right, so how does that come off? So reason again why we're using hand tools, because it's very easy to strip out one of these screws with power tools, and you're just reefing on it. You might regret it at some point. I'm like, oh, I should have taken my time and just because you can kind of feel when you're getting into it if it's gonna break loose or not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just full of shit and I'm just trying to sell you guys on something. Now the goal here too, I'm planning on taking Burt on Power Tour next year. Sorry, Bam Bam, you're sitting next year out, but we gotta get it. You gotta get it pretty. It's already running and driving barely. We'll address that once we get it pretty. And say very important when you take trim pieces off, keep them as straight as you possibly can. Put them on a shelf where they're not going to get hurt, not going to get damaged, stuff's not going to get thrown on them. If you start bending this stuff all, it can be, you're not going to have a good day. Also, what I'm going to do with my marker, I'm going to label this one piece fender. That way I know I can put this one right back on this fender and I'm not going to screw things up. Okay, so now all the trim is off, marker light is out. Go through, rub your hand across the surface of it. It's the best way you're going to be able to feel for any dents, dings, anything like that. You can take your eyeball and just put down the side there, use the light, and you can see dents in there. This one's actually pretty darn good. Our only area of concern is this little spot right here. So, problem with trying to get into that and work it is normally you would just get in there and work it and then work it from the back side, but we can't because we have a panel there. A couple things we can do: get a spot welder, clean it all off, spot weld it, slide hammer, pull it off. I don't have a slide hammer, don't have a spot welder. What else can you do? You can take self-tapper it. Get in there with the self-tappers and some screwdrivers and kind of just carefully, gently pry it up and try to get some of the metal up. That's what we're going to end up doing because probably like you guys are like me, you don't have the money to invest in a spot welder at the time being. Other thing is, you can get in there with some picks and you can pick at it and try to force it up, but I don't have any picks either. So self-tappers, we'll try to pry up what we can and try not to mar up this other edge, but at least those dents won't be as deep as this one, but we'll try to work at it. So to get this edge the way I want to get it, a couple tools you're going to need: croissant wrench, another croissant wrench, and a hammer. Any hammer will do. This came out of that body set, so I'm going to use it. And really, what you're going to do is you're going to put the one croissant wrench kind of at your point of, I don't want this piece of metal to bend anymore location. And you're going to take your other croissant wrench and put it on the damaged spot, wide or loose, whatever you got. And you're just going to go ahead and gently bend it back to where it needs to be. Just go through, work it out a couple times. Just kind of get it back to the shape that it was. Also, when you're in there, to try to relieve some of the stress, you're going to get in there and tap the crease spots so you release stress on this metal. The metal has a shape. It's got a memory. It's always going to go back to the shape. But you gotta work it and you gotta massage it so it gets back to wherever it was. Okay, so I got this edge pretty straight. We got the curve there. Might have to work it just a little bit more, but I want to start focusing on this. So for this, I'm gonna find the lowest spot, which is obviously like a valley. I'm gonna take these self-tappers, I'm gonna run them in there about halfway. I'm gonna put two here, I'll put two here, probably put two here. And I'm gonna separate them far enough where I can get my pry bar or your flathead screwdriver in there. And we're gonna get in between the two screws and we're just gonna kind of pry it up. Now what we gotta do is be careful not to crease this too much, but I'm not too worried about it because we're gonna mud it anyway and get rid of the dents that we do put in there. All I wanna do is pull this, valley up so that way we're not, you know, slapping an inch and a half of frickin' fiberglass filler and, you know, Bondo on there that's just gonna crack out at some point anyway. But, you know, just to get it up. Just get it up. Get it up. We'll start with a 4 and see what we can do. So, as I mentioned, get your prying utensil and you just kind of want to, you know, work the metal up, work the screws up. You can see we're putting dents in it, but it's okay because we're going ahead and doing this. And I hope. Now, as we're going through working it too, we want to take our hammer and we want to hit these high spots and try to stress relieve the metal as we're doing it. So, kind of do this, work it around, and as it's working around, I can actually feel it coming up. So, we're doing something at least productive besides marring it up right there. So you can see that our dent here is significantly, it's not creased in here anymore. You know, we went through, as I was prying on those, I was using the pick side of it, and it was right where the crease was on the old original dent there. I was hitting it, and as I was doing it, you could feel the metal coming up, and it significantly came up. Now it's really still low here, like really super low, and I'm going to try to get in here on the back side, you know, through these openings on the either side, and try to push it up just a little bit more. But all in all, that's a lot better to mud over than what that big swooping crease was, in my opinion. So I could feather this out a lot more and get it nice and smooth. And plus, the bumper is going to be right here anyway, so it's not like it's going to matter all that much. But, you know, it's just nice to know that we don't have a ton of filler in there. But I guess that's the secret of being a really good body man, is to know how to do filler and how not to, right? Well, I got my 4 holes welded up. If you don't have a welder, just JB weld them. That ought to be good enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take my grinder. We're going to grind down this, some of the high spots there. Then I'm going to take my wire wheel. I actually got one on a, what do I do with it? I don't know. Wire wheel it. And we're going to get as much of the paint back as we can. You can't go through with a grinder and get it as far back. You want bare metal for body filler and fiberglass filler. So we're going to go through, grind it down, get some spots back. So, as you can see, we got her ground down. Now the actual spot was here. Of course, we worked it here a little bit with our finagle, but we went beyond. And actually, the filler is probably going to end up coming up to about here, but I think fiberglass resin, for our purposes, we're probably going to be in about this ballpark that we ground out. So just remember, what you're doing is you're filling in a gap or a hole. So you got a, you know, a little hole, and you're filling it in with dirt, and you're making it smooth level across. So that's what we're doing here, is we're filling it across with fiberglass filler to start, and then Bondo plastic filler second. And what that's going to do is that's going to be our base over the ground. And when you do that, of course, you got to smooth it out so far, and then you're going to sand it off to, you know, bulldoze it or sand it. So what the hell is fiberglass filler? This stuff. And this is the Bondo brand. And what it is fiberglass. You know, it's fiberglass, sandable fiberglass. You can get long string, thin string, preferably stuff like this, thin string. Long string is a little bit harder, but it's harder to work with too. So for our purposes, we're going to use the thin stuff, thin string stuff. And then you actually get plastic filler, or Bondo. Now, Bondo is just a brand name of whatever, fiberglass filler and plastic filler, but you know, it's got a bad rap. Everyone, Bondo, whatever. Any body tech will tell you you're not a good body tech if you don't know how to use this. So you get into a custom world and they work the metal till it's perfectly straight and all that. Good for them. I don't have a year to put into this fender working that thing and everything else. We got a deadline, and I'm lazy, so we're gonna do it the lazy way, which you guys know damn well. So far, that's what it is. So to mix it up, open it up. Kind of a spreader board. They sell expensive things. You basically take a glob. You can use a stick, screwdriver, whatever. Goop it out, put it on there, put the hardener on there, and you mix it up. Once it's all mixed up, you slather it on. And it's relatively simple. I don't know. Read the instructions. It'll tell you how to do it. So once you get it mixed up there, go ahead and slather it on. Now when you're starting to put it on here, you only got like 5 or 6 minutes till it's started to get, you know, tacky to the point of it's not going to work. And what you want to do is you want to look for your areas, and you can see our dent is right there. It's still kind of showing. I tried building it up as much as I could. Maybe I can still get just a little now. Yeah, it's too firm now. But tried to just build up that area as much as possible. And you can see we want all the way where we ground out, so you know, make sure to grind out further so you're not putting it over paint. So this probably we'll sand it down, see what it looks like, get everything taken care of. We'll probably put another coat on right there just to build it up. Stuff like this, I tried to, you know, avoid that little pit right there, because now that's going to be a pit and we're going to have to, you know, dig it out or do something or do that. But that'll cause you headache if you don't fill them in properly. Nice smooth skim coat across. And when you get to a spot like this, just let it dry, let it do its thing so you're not screwing it up anymore. You know, this is going to be rock solid, you know, fiberglass. So while that one's curing, started pulling the trim off of driver's side here. It's actually a lot worse than I thought it was. We got spots there. We also got spots here. And we got here. Not only that, inside we're gonna have to make patch panels here and probably there. Probably up here somewhere as well. Really not ideal. So I'm gonna check the interwebs and see if I can find one here for, I don't know, I think 150 bucks for another fender would be a heck of a lot more better than just, you know, doing this one up. So by all means, should you be using a 120 grit paper to sand this, but I'm gonna use a 120 grit because that's all I have. And my 40 grit, I don't know where it's at. I gotta go to the store and get some tomorrow. Got the DA out. Actually knocked quite a bit down and worked it down. Of course, we still got the little bit of a low spot right here and then a low spot right here. I have to fill that in. Other than that, it's pretty good. Feels a little wavy right here, but that's of course in the curve. Got to hand sand that versus using the DA. But all in all, pretty impressed. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. Oh, sorry. Compressor's running. But put another coat, actually put a coat of Bondo on there. Sanded it off after it dried. I got a guide coat on there now. We'll buzz it down and see where our low spots are, and then we'll work them from there. So our guide coat worked. See a little bit of a low spot right here. And a little bit of a low spot right there. You can actually feel that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up another batch of filler. We're going to skim it here. That I'm actually not worried about. I get a little pit there, we'll skim there, and we'll get these two little cattywampus doos out of here. And while it's drying, I'm going to DA the rest of the fender and get it prepped for, you know, primer, because we're going to do it right. And other than that, should be pretty good. But yeah, that little dent right there, I can just feel it. So a very important step right now. We got her all DA'd down 120, and it's pretty good. Got our bodywork all done over here. Another layer, and it feels really good. Can't really feel anything major off of it. Now the big thing is we want to make sure to go over the whole thing with a red scratch pad, because we're going to prime the whole thing, block it down. We don't want anything to be shiny, because you know, shiny paint, that's bad. That's when paint doesn't stick, primer doesn't stick, nothing sticks. So we're going to go through, even though we scuffed it up, we're going to scuff it up with a red scratch pad and then cut in all the edges. Flip it over, we'll do the back side as well, just because we're there. Well, welcome back again. New day for me. I don't know, it's been 2 seconds for you guys. Anyways, we left off working on that fender, got it all done. Started diving into driver's side here. It's got a little bit of rust, big old hole down there. So start digging through my junk pile. I have 2 more fenders. They're just 81 and up. I need, you know, the one with the these style marker lights, not the these style marker lights. Anyways, that one's going to be my backup one. We'll fix that one, do patch panels to it if I can't get a hold of one. I've been kind of searching the marketplace and all that fun stuff, looking for one, and a couple of them out there. They're just down 200-300 miles away, and I don't know if I want to drive down there right now and get one. It's not like I need one. Anyways, I'm rambling. We're going to start working on the doors. So I'm going to get one of these set up on the stands, and then we will start working it. So the door's propped up, and I'll just address the elephant in the room here. We got pigtail hanging out of it. It's because this thing's got power windows on it, power locks for these rear doors. How nice is that? Look how rust-free this is. Got just a little bit starting to form right here. And I think I'm going to try to bend that out, and then we'll take care of whatever rust is there and put it back together. But this thing is just solid. I was feeling around on it here. There's a dent right there. You can kind of see right there. A couple other ones through here. I do have another dent up there. That's going to be pretty simple fix there. And overall, just solid. Now, typically, if you were going to go through and do a full-on restoration, make it pretty, you know, you got kind of levels you can go to. For this level, I'm not going to pull the door handles off. I'm going to leave them on. We'll tape them off. Go from there. You can't pull them off. You can pull the windows out. You pull all the window stripping out. Get all the paint lines hidden. You know, everything else. I'm not going to that extreme. It's a lot of work. It's time consuming. I don't really feel like doing it, to be honest with you. I think even for the door panels, when we go to cut them in, we're just going to probably tape them off and send it, because I don't feel like pulling them off. Kind of a, what do they call it, a scuff and shoot? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so this is dried. Now, I'm gonna pop a piece of sandpaper on my DA and kind of knock it down. I just wanted to go over these really quick. Sanding blocks, you can get one like this. I think I got a wet sanding block somewhere. Yeah. You got little thin ones like this, wet sanding block. Of course, it's got crap all over it. And if all else fails, you don't have anything like that, use a block of wood. Now, this is something I had scrap laying around. Smoother, flat on this side. I mean, you might want to plane it if you want to plane it for a more level, but you get the idea and the gist of it. So I left on there what I usually knock down with a DA, these little pits like this, all the way around. Just get it smooth when it's on like the actual like spinning, like locked in position. And then I'll go over it again with when it's unlocked and just DA over it really quick. Making sure I'm holding it as flat as you can because you don't want to get ripples in it. It's the whole point of trying to take dents out is to not put other dents in it. And usually you end up with something like that. Kind of got some more over there and down there. But now what we're going to do, guide coat, and we're just going to spray it on there lightly on each of these spots here. And it doesn't matter what color it is. It doesn't have to be black. It's just all I had. I'll get into that one here in a second. But all you're doing is you're finding all the low spots. So when you start going to start sanding it, what it's going to do is it's going to sand away the high spots, including the paint. And this way you're going to see where all the low spots are so you can work those spots and start feather edging. All right. You can see where our guide coat is right here after we've sanded. That's our low spot. So we got to bring that up some more. We got a little bit of a low spot up there. I did feel a new little low spot right up in here. You can see it's high, and it's low in there. Put a little filler in there. This one actually turned out pretty... Nope, it's not pretty good. I can still feel a low spot right there and a high spot. So a little bit of skim coat on that. Down here turned out all right. Our low spot right in here. And I felt another spot. Oh yeah. See when it's right here as well. So coming along. Like I mentioned, 90% of the stuff gets sanded off. This one actually I think feels pretty good. We're a little low up in here. Probably another skim coat through here. So I don't think I need any more fiberglass filler. I think I'm going to move on to the Bondo at this point. If you got to put another coat of fiberglass on there, put another coat on there. But I think for my purpose, I'm pretty good. I think this middle one, I got kind of a funny feeling to it. So I'll probably bring it out a little further. More further than normal. Okay, while that was drying, I went ahead and popped this door up. Stripped it down. I just was going to DA it down. I started blasting through the paint there. And it just kind of came off. Two things with that. They didn't use a good prep primer. Didn't use a sealer. It was very thin. And when you do that, you can see, well, all the stuff down here. Those are pits. That's pitting. There were little rust spots that were starting to form because paint was so thin that it started flaking like this, and then it started getting like these little rust spots on it. And those rust spots are what causes pitting, and if you don't address them now, then you're going to just end up chasing rust all the time. So we got to get some, I don't know, some kind of a rust preventer spray primer to get on here, because you're not going to be able to get most, well, we might be able to sand a lot of these out. I did get down in some of these. There's actually a dent right there I'm going to address. And then I started ripping all there was like a coat down here, so I had to tear it off. Another dent right here, one right here, there. And I found one up here too. So not bad. I think I can get to these with the back side because this door is pretty much open. Poor Impala just getting covered in dust. Anyways, so these door latches that are in here, locks, cylinders, they're pretty simple. Got a little clip there, you just clip them off. Sometimes you have a little like latch in there you gotta pop off with a plastic clip or whatever, but these are pretty simple, just in and out. I feel like I got 50 freaking projects going on. Oh wait, because I do. Yeah, waiting on the radiator for that. Yeah. Bodywork here. Angus is giving me fits. It's all fun stuff. Anyways, so I got another coat of, you know, the filler of the plastic type put on there, as you can see. And while that's drying, I want to move on to this door that we did a second ago. As you can tell, Bodywork's a lot of hurry up and wait, sand it off, hurry up and wait, sand it off. Hurry up, hurry it up, and wait, sand it off. So that's what I'm gonna do. Well, as you guessed it, we're sanded. Need another coat. Shocking. Shocking. So I'm going to move on to that one. And honestly, it's sanding Bondo and applying Bondo. It's not good for YouTube, to be honest. Bodywork just sucks in general. You get the picture. So I'll be back when I have something interesting, I guess. Well, that was interesting. DA is going. Have it on DA mode, and I pull it up, and I can just buzz it. Because it's got water coming out of it, because my compressor is shitty. The paper decides to go flying. Pew! Well, first, yeah, we got the Impala. Second, yeah. That's deep. I don't know if that's going to come out, but good to know. So this coat is done. Still a little low right here. Maybe could use a touch more sanding right here, but honestly, it's the lower part of the door, and a coat of high build primer on that will definitely knock it down. Up here, it's kind of the same situation, maybe a little high right here still, but nothing that I don't think a couple coats of high build primer won't take care of. Front door, well, we gotta sand that coat down. Fortunately, I'm out of sandpaper because that was the last piece that decided to stick in the door there. And I gotta go get some. And also, my compressor is not really good-ish right now for auto body work. I think I'm gonna have to modify it. I think I gotta put a bigger pulley on here, get the ripums up on the compressor, do something to cool it down, because I'm getting a lot of water in my line. And water is not good when you're doing auto body work. So, with that, probably gonna end this one. It's gonna be a part 1 of probably a million on Burt Bodywork. Stay tuned. I got more sanding to do. We got to do a patch panel or 500 on that fender. The hood, I don't know if you can see it back there. We got to do body work to that. Then I got to do the driver's side doors. Then we got to pull the front clip off, and then we got to hang all the metal on there. Then we got to do patch panels on the rear quarter, and then we can fix the roof. We got a lot of work ahead. So please like, subscribe, share, comment below. Sorry if this one was a little bit more boring, but that is how body work goes. It's a lot of sanding and applying and sanding and applying and sanding and applying and sanding and applying. I will leave you on this note. If you do body work like this and you got bare metal exposed, put something on it if you're going to put it outside. Primer, paint, I don't care. Just don't leave your bare metal exposed if you're going to send it out in the elements, because it will rust, it will pit. You'll be doing this again, kicking yourself in the ass. So thanks everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment below. We'll see you next time.